Welcome to Joe G Cards. In this video we're going to go over another topic about graded cards, right? We're doing a lot of videos on graded cards because there is a lot to say. There really is a lot to say. So some people in the UK want to sell graded cards as a living, yeah? They want to make a living off selling graded cards. They want to make solely a business on selling graded cards. Well, let's just get this into perspective. If you don't have a lot of inventory, like a lot of cards, yeah, like a lot of cards. If you don't have a lot of inventory, yeah, like a lot of items. I'm talking way more than this, like up to probably 1,000. I reckon you're not anywhere close to being a business seller level if you need probably 1,000 PSA cards. When you've got 1,000 PSA cards, what also you need to do, right, is if you, let's say you have 1,000 PSA cards in inventory, yeah, in back stock or basically back stock product, like you say you take this out, you take this many out, and then you say, oh, you know what, I'm never going to sell them, I'm going to wait for the price to go up, and then you say you need to make a living, yeah, so to make a living off selling PSA cards, right? So I know people in the UK constantly grade cards because they want to make a living off doing it in the UK. Now, you need a lot of inventory. When it comes to doing this, you need a lot of inventory, right? So, and you need your cards to come back in a nice time period, because there's someone in America that has a business, a Pokemon business, in selling graded cards, graded items, you know, and they basically have no product. So they have no stock, right? So now they can't actually turn over product. They can't sell the product, yeah? They have no product to sell, yeah? So what that means is that person is now living on their money that they have or they made from back when it was, they made the money, right? They're living on another source of money from selling a big item, right? They're living on that source of money because they have no PSA cards to sell, right? Because their cards aren't coming back in a timely fashion, right? So if you're grading to solely create a business thinking, basically I can just sell cards and never work, you know, actually like for a company or something, you know, you need to be building a stock of at least like 1,000 cards, if not more, yeah? The reason why is because you can't be waiting 9 months for your submission to come back, because if you're waiting 9 months for them submissions to come back, then you need product to tie you over that 9 months period, yeah, while you're not selling anything. Otherwise your business is going to fold, yeah, and you're not going to be able to recuperate, you're not going to be able to keep up with the money or the bills that you need to pay out of the product or the money that you're making from Pokemon, yeah, right? Like if you look at certain other people in the hobby, they only just make a certain amount of product, right? They only just make a certain amount of money. They're like low income earners, you know, they're still like basically, I know another YouTuber basically said like they're only just above the poverty line or something, like in America, and it's like from selling graded cards they don't really make a mad amount of money, you know. And it's, to be plain and simple, yeah, if your cards ain't coming back within like a month's time, yeah, you know, if you're sending 80 to 150 cards out, and then obviously you've got the money because you're at like business power level, like you've got that kind of money just sitting around where you can afford to throw them amount of items out there. Like you can throw 150 at PSA. Like I was literally doing that for months, yeah, throwing 150 out, 150 out, 150 out, like there's stupid amounts of cards, yeah. If you're not someone who can chuck that kind of capital around, chuck that kind of cash around, yeah, and send these cards in, how are you going to build up a stock so when they don't come back within 9 months, how are you going to sell them? You have nothing to sell, so you'd go bankrupt, yeah? Because you'd run out of money. If you run out of money, let's say that seller in America, yeah, or another place in the world runs out of money, yeah, and he's got no cards coming back. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? He has no money, yeah? So he's going to have to claim unemployment or declare himself like not self-employed anymore because he has no stock to sell. He has nothing to sell, yeah? If you have nothing to sell, how can you make any money, yeah? You can't make any money, right? So, for example, if you're someone watching my video and you're in the UK and you think, I'm going to make a business from just selling PSA cards, you need to be building up an inventory. Your inventory needs to be massive, yeah? Like a good 1,000 cards, 1,000 PSA cards. If you're not sitting at that level, then you need to look at alternative options of making, like, an income, yeah? Like, as in, you know, you need to go work for a company for, say, 5 years, and then grade for 5 years, and then keep all that stock, you know, keep all them cards at a safe location, yeah? Right? Don't tell anyone that you have all these items as another scenario, yeah? And then what you need to do is you need to build all them cards up, so then you can just start selling as a business. And then when you're sending your cards off, hopefully they come back quick enough, and hopefully you can actually sell your items. Because don't forget, if you can't sell these cards, you can't make any money as well. So you've got two options that you're relying on. You're relying on stock and product from PSA to come back. You're relying that there's raw cards on the market for you to buy, and there's also you're relying on the fact that you need buyers. You need people to buy this stuff. So if the economy takes a massive downturn and people stop spending money, yeah, and they don't buy any cards from you, you have no way of moving that product. That's why I said in another video that you might keep PSA cards for like 2 years before you even move them. You know, someone messaged me on Instagram, one of my followers on YouTube, and he says, look, I've got some booster packs and they're not selling. Yeah. Now, the reason they're not selling, there could be a few aspects of that. eBay's not promoting your listing. Yeah. You could have the fact that, you know, your actual listing is not high enough in the search location, so it's not at the top or within the top 6 or, you know, or top 10. So people aren't going to scroll down and see your listing, yeah. And if you've got, and also the other thing is, if you've got people selling the exact same PSA cards as you, you're going to be competed. Now, if you're relying on this as a job, yeah, and that other guy's just sitting there hobby selling while he's got another full-time income from somewhere else, yeah, that guy can afford to undercut you. So then you're going to lose money. So if you're going to take the option of saying, I'm going to lose I need to lose $10 by selling this card, or I need to, you know, I need to sell, you know, this is the kind of thing you need to do. You need to prepare to take a loss because someone's selling the same card as you and they're undercutting you. This is basically anyone, yeah, who is sitting in the position that if you want to create or sell PSA cards as a full-time business, yeah, and obviously why running YouTube, because YouTube, multiple streams of revenue, you're going to need multiple streams of revenue. You're going to need revenue from YouTube, you're going to need revenue from eBay, you're going to need, you know, revenue from the eBay program, because obviously at your business level, yeah, you can get partner program, you'll be on the partner program. Now obviously I got accepted on the partner program, so I get stuff from people that buy through my link. It's very minimum. It's like there's some 4%, you know, so you need to be making a lot of sales through your eBay link to be getting at least a decent amount of money coming through that, yeah. And then, you know, which mine's not very active, yeah, so that doesn't really make much revenue, yeah. But, you know, people that, like, you know, you really need to be careful when you're doing this stuff, because you need to be able to sell them, you need to be able to get your product back. You can't be having your product sit in these grading companies for 9 to 10 months or 13, 14 months for booster packs. Like, you can't have it sitting there that long if you're relying on this as a business. Do you understand? You're relying on selling cards to keep the money so you can actually live, yeah? Like, and making a living of selling cards. You need to be selling raws, you need to be selling played cards, you need to be selling PSA cards, you need to be selling everything. But that takes a lot of time, and there's only so much time in a day that you can make or you can use for putting 100 raw cards on. Do I put 100 raw cards onto a day, or do I do this, or do I do this instead? You see? I just wanted to point this out, yeah, because there's people that are probably making, like, trying to sell PSA cards as a business, trying to make a living off it, and I'm not being funny, grading like 30, 40 cards a month is not going to cut it. You need to be like where I'm sitting, and on my level where you're grading 150, 150, 150, 150. Like, I could technically sell PSA cards as a full-time business if I had my product here. I don't have my product, yeah? So I cannot do it, yeah? Do you understand? This is what I mean with this kind of thing. So you need to find alternate sources of income before you start wanting to sell PSA cards as a business, and you need to be making enough money so you can survive, yeah? And if you're not hitting the yearly threshold and you're not hitting 12, 13 grand a year, well, then you won't pay tax anyway. So that, you see what I'm saying? You wouldn't make the yearly amount to pay tax. So, you know, this is the kind of thing that you need to look into if you're someone that's trying to sell PSA cards as a business in the UK. Because you can't also be relying on these third-party companies to be around forever. Because if you're relying doing this through third-party companies, how do you know these third-party companies are never going to fold? You know? So you need, if you're doing it as a business, you need a membership as well. You need a membership, because if you're relying on someone else sending in your cards and they go bankrupt, you know, and they no longer send it, what are you going to do? Right? Do you understand? What you're going to do? Thanks for watching this video, and if you like this video, this goes into like topics of, you know, how you should basically go about this. You need to build up an inventory, right? Thanks for watching this video, and if you did like it, smash the like button, and I'll see you next time. Peace.